Which are the factors that can alter the balance of the gut microflora?
You have many things. First of all, you have age. Along with age, you have modifications in your gut microbiota, and then you have everything that can occur when you age. And for example, infections. When you have infection, you receive antibiotics, and any antibiotics can definitely alter the gut microbiota.
Why do such infections have high recurrence rates?
The recurrence rate is mainly due to two things. The first one is the characteristic of C. diff, which is a pathogen that can be transformed in spores, and spores can stay hidden and stay in the gut and in the environment, either to recontaminate the patient and give recurrence. And the second problem with C. diff is also that everything that is around the C. diff, meaning the other pathogen of the microbiota, are also destroyed. So if you don't recover on the microbiota, you don't have a new equilibrium, and you have recurrences of the infection.
Which are the high-risk groups for a Clostridium difficile infection and recurrence?
The high-risk groups are old people, people with antibiotics, people with low albumin, people in hospitals, everything that can alter globally the gut microbiota.
And what can be done to lessen the chances of recurrence?
Oh, to lessen the number of recurrence, you have many ways to do that. The first one is maybe to remove all the risk factors. For example, if you have an antibiotic, cut the antibiotic, of course, if you can, and the infection is healed. So that would be the first one. The second one would be to improve the status of the patient. The third one would be to choose an antibiotic that will not alter more the microbiota, so a very narrow spectrum of antibiotics. If you take vancomycin, for example, this is something with a very wide spectrum. So you have a treatment on C. diff, but you also have destruction of the good microbiota. If you take antibiotic with a narrower spectrum, like for example fινταξομicin, you have something with a narrow spectrum that will act only on C. diff. And you have all the intervention that can change the microbiota, that can also be positive on the recurrences. For example, if you combine an effect on the C. diff on the microbiota, you can change the way you administer the medication. For example, if you take the trial that we've been doing with fινταξομicin in extended administration, you have an efficacy on the on C. diff, but you also have the time for the microbiota to recover. So on one side, you have the same clinical cure at the end of treatment, but you decrease a lot the recurrences. All the other trials in recurrences, you are between 15–17% of recurrences at, for example, 90 days. With this one, you go as low as 6% at 90 days, which is a huge improvement.